I'm going to have to talk to you guys like it's an Ace Ventura monologue. You know, when he goes to Ray Finkle's house and tells his parents that he's Ray's biggest fan, he tries to earn their trust by saying, I know everything about Ray. I know that he holds 2 NCAA records, one for distance, one for most points in the season, former nicknamed the Mule, and one hell of a model American. You know that monologue? That's how I'm going to have to talk to you guys today. I'm going to have to be like the guy from the Micro Machines commercials in like the 1980s where he's just talking a million miles per minute. That's how many games are on this slate. For some bizarre reason, the one day of the year, the busiest NHL day of the year, where every single team is scheduled to play. When does it happen? Does it happen right before All-Star break, where all these teams kind of know who they are, they know what their strengths are, they know what their weaknesses are? No. We get it during October scam season, where half the plays I'm going to give you today are simply because these teams are in such flux with their power plays and line combinations that they're just throwing things against the walls and seeing what sticks. That's when you decide to have this, and I'm not going to say the name that they use because it's a corny-ass name, and I refuse to abide by it. But every single team in the NHL is playing tonight. Now, typically, I can get these point props for you, and then when I make this video, they're almost all available. I guess it's taking extra time for all those cooks in the kitchen to dish out point props for all these players. So I'm going to focus on this chunk of early games. So you're going to get some advanced plays today. And I guess one that I can start with, I mean, this is random. It's all, wait, should I start? You know what? Where is he? Stevie BongRips, you're the original character. You're season 1. You know that show, is it American Horror Story? Do they show that in Canada? Do they show American Horror Story in Canada? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, whether you want to comment about that, you want to comment about anything, all your comments are always appreciated because they're obviously helping this channel grow. Stevie BongRips said, come on, man, just do me a favor. You know me, I don't ask for much. All I ask for you is to just believe that the Detroit Red Wings are going somewhere this year. And if you can just give me a money line or two. If you can just give me a money line or two on this slate. I don't think you're going to like what I'm about to say, Stevie. Because your boys, those Detroit Red Wings, have an abysmal record at the Islanders for like 8 straight road games. Do they have 1 win? That's obviously not something I'm going to be taking. That's not something Stevie BongRips is going to be taking. But I did want to give the over in the Lightning Devils game. It had all the necessary ingredients. I had it lined up. I had it queued up. But the Lightning played last night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Vasilevsky was playing. So what did I see? Okay, Vasilevsky's playing. You're getting Johansson in that back-to-back game against the Devils. Devils are waiting for them at home. Obviously, Tampa can score goals. You know, the Devils can score goals, especially against a backup. I thought it was going to be the perfect recipe for line combinations on the Devils and the over in that game. But Vasilevsky got pulled early, and you can tell it was intentional so that he could play the next night. They essentially threw the rest of the game in Toronto, and now, where I thought that was going to be a loosey-goosey game, now that might be a little bit tighter because Tampa just lost back-to-back games on the road. And unless they're going to lose 3 in a row, they're going to have to put in a decent effort. Vasilevsky's in there. Now this one might be a little bit closer than I originally may have anticipated. I would have leaned Devils. I would have leaned over. Now, that all kind of changes. That's how it works. That's how it works with these things. You got to make adjustments. But I'll just swap that over for another one. And that's the Ottawa Senators Utah Hockey Club. You happy? You happy? I just remembered to say Utah Hockey Club. Look, these are 2 ruckus-oriented teams. The Bruins, you always get a chance of a low-scoring game, and that was the case. But you look at every other Utah game, they're scoring, they're conceding, and that's what we're kind of looking for. You look at some of these Senators games. You look at that game against the Lightning. You look at the game against the Kings. You can get some wild results with these 2 teams. We probably will have Linus Ullmark coming back, but let me take a crack at that over 6.5 in the Ottawa Senators Arizona Coyotes game. I gave you Utah once, one for you, one for me. And also, obviously, anything that I like an over on this slate, that's the perfect opportunity to rip those line combinations for Ottawa. These are the same ones. These are rollover. This is Snakenomics 202. The regulars still apply. Also, I do want to note that Barrett Hayton is still a plus money point. He is still a plus money point on his own. On the hockey club side, you have Hayton Keller, Keller Schmaltz, Schmaltz Hayton. All three of those bets, those would be the line mate, top power play correlated bets for that side. On the other side, you have Norris and Batherson on line 2, power play 1. You can put those two together. And then obviously I'm really liking Stützle and Tkachuk. It's even money, both of them for a point. So you have 2 bets on the Ottawa side. You have 3 bets as far as line combinations on the Utah Hockey Club side. So you have plenty of bets to choose from in just that one game. But there are other games to talk about too. Another one that I wanted to focus on where I can give somewhat of a pizzeria pick. This is the Vancouver Canucks versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, there are 2 sides to every two-faced coin. You know, when we look at the Snakenomics plays, we always look at that head side where, okay, let's try to make money and bet the point for the guy. But how often are you guys doing the other side? Who bet against Morgan Riley yesterday? He's not on the top power play, reduced opportunities, no point for him. There are situations like that on this slate. Now, I haven't seen the point props listed for this game yet, but I'm going to assume it's a relatively fair price. What we know is that Philip Kurashev, who is the second-line center, and he was playing 5-on-5 with Bertuzzi and Hall, he's being healthy scratched to send a point to him and the team. Taylor Hall, that leaves him as the only guy who's obviously not on the top power play for that team and is just by himself on power play 2 and line 2, and now line 2 doesn't have Philip Kurashev. So I'm going to go with the under on half of a point for Taylor Hall. I don't know what the price is yet, but the pizzeria pick that I like in this game is the under 2.5 goals for the Chicago Blackhawks. This has a little to do with Kurashev being pulled from the lineup. This more so has to do with Vancouver coming off of a shutout. You guys remember one of my old school rules. I feel like defensive chemistry rolls over from game to game. And it's no coincidence that Vancouver has been playing straight up unders hockey. They have been playing an unders brand of hockey. They just shut out Philly in Philly. And every game after that first wild one against the Flames has been 3-2, 3-1. They've all hit the under. So they're playing an under style of hockey coming off of a great road shutout win. I'm gonna have them holding the Chicago Blackhawks to under 2.5 goals. Now, while we're here, I'll quickly break down the line combinations. You obviously know with Chicago, this is another easy one. Same thing as last time. It's Bedard, Teravainen, Foligno, Bedard, Foligno. 3 bets on that one side right there. Now, this ain't 202 anymore. Now this is like Junior 404. What is there rhyme and reason for the numbers? It's always 101. And it's not like the second year or the second semester was 202. It randomly would be like 450. We need a, you want to talk about like correlated line mate plays. We need a simple, basic guide to follow the courses and how they're numbered. I remember I took a course like, 7. They're just making stuff up at that point. They're card games. 727. Anyway, the Vancouver side is a little 727 advanced Snakenomics. So, previously, on the real world, Vancouver, they took DeBrusk off Pettersson's line and put him on that top line with Brock Besser and JT Miller. So that meant that the entire top line was kind of like Chicago's, was kind of like the Coyotes, Utah Hockey Club, where you would put all 3 of those bets in. They, however, have left him on line 1 and have removed him from power play 1. And in his place, Connor Garland, one of the playoff heroes from last year, who's also on line 2 with Elias Pettersson. So now, where if this was 2 days ago, we would just be taking all 3 combinations from the big 3 on the top line. Now it's just going to be JT Miller and Brock Besser. And then on the second line, it's going to be Connor Garland and Elias Pettersson. So 3 bets on the Chicago side, 2 bets on the Vancouver side. This is Snakenomics at its finest. Cha-ching! Now, another game that I want to look at now, this is senior year. This is like doctorate level Snakenomics. Now, I think I think maybe Columbus is doctorate level Snakenomics, but this is right up there. I mean, this is an undergrad. This is a difficult course. You're not going to be able to use Cliff Notes to get by this one. And that's the Dallas Stars. Dallas, who has been unhappy with their power play, is shifting Unit 2 to Unit 1. Now remember, this isn't the Rangers shifting to Unit 2 to Unit 1. This is one of the units, there are like 7 of them or 8 of them in the league, that give both units about a minute of power play time each. So it's not like a massive change, but the power play was struggling, so they're swapping out pieces of that second unit and putting it on the top unit. So now you can't use that classic Hintz-Robertson because they left Hintz on the top power play and they sent Robertson down. But remember, this is 1 minute for each side of the power play. So we're not just going to dismiss that second unit, but it looks like it's Matt Duchene and Mason Marchment who are getting that promotion to the top power play. And you still got Hintz and Heiskanen up there. So they're going to get the first crack at this. They were a successful power play last year because even last year, they were a power play that ran both of their units out there. So they're getting the first crack at it. And do you think their prices reflect that? No, we're still getting prices as if the power plays are still the same. Marchman's point prop is like plus 124, and I think Matt Duchene's is plus 105 or even money. You put those two guys together, you're looking at plus 300 for the both of them. Two guys on the Dallas Stars on the road at Buffalo who are going to be on the top power play. This is Snakenomics. So does that mean that's it? So Hintz is off the board. What about the other two? I'm not going to decline taking Robertson and Stankoven. This is still a 1 minute power play. They can easily still connect. And the top line is still Hintz, Robertson, Stankoven. So I see no reason why I shouldn't still sprinkle in Robertson and Stankoven. On Buffalo, we have Peterka and Tage Thompson. Why not Alex Tuck? Because they randomly decided to have him on the second power play this last week or so. And unless we get that full correlation, look, we have enough bets as it is. We don't need to add in another one. But that's the tiebreaker for me. If you're not on that top power play or you're on a separate power play than the both of your line mates, same thing with DeBrusk. You're not going to see me put DeBrusk with Miller or Besser because it may require an extra goal. Then how about just a random point prop that's a great value, and that's Brandon Montour. They're another team who has 1 minute for this unit, 1 minute for another unit. And what's more confusing, what's more perplexing, is they have a good power play defenseman in Vince Dunn and a good power play defenseman that they signed in Brandon Montour. Well, Dunn missed the last game, and Montour had all the opportunities in the world. He had a little extended power play time, 3-on-3 overtime. He was out there going wild. He set up the overtime game winner to Eberle, and I think he's a good bet. He's coming in at plus 110. I like that point for Brandon Montour. And as far as the line combinations on that team, very simple. You can do the McCann-Eberle. It's actually hit a couple games in a row, I believe, or at least 2 out of 3, and that's pushing you like a plus 200 price. Oh my God, and I almost forgot with Stevie BongRips' Red Wings when I was over there. I forgot to talk about those two teams and what's going on with both of their line combinations. On the Islanders side, they lost Duclair. I think he's going to be on IR, so he's out for a long time, which means that opens up a spot on the top power play. You just thought they were going to slip Brock Nelson in there, but it turns out Patrick Roy's not happy with the power plays at all, and he's breaking them up, and he experimented with new combos, so pretty much everything's off the table for the Islanders. And then on the Red Wings side, last game, we saw DeBrincat up on the top line with Larkin and Patrick Kane. So you have one of those situations where you put in 3 bets. That's the whole top line. They're on the top power play. Well, now they've kicked Patrick Kane down to the second line. So now DeBrincat, Raymond, and Larkin are all on the top line and the top power play. So last game, it was Kane, Larkin, Kane, DeBrincat, Larkin. This time, for this game, because there was a switch, it's Raymond, Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat, Larkin. I mean, there's just so much to know and go through. But I guess that's why you guys are here. And I guess maybe one last thing that I'll end on that I know is I saw Vincent Trochek. They even listed him. He's now in 1.5 points territory because Lafreniere's having such a great year, and obviously Panarin's nasty, so they've had no choice but to default Vincent Trochek to over 1.5 points. And with that line playing the way it is, why are we not going to do that against the Montreal Canadiens? This game is in the Garden. That line, you can't take Trochek and Panarin for a point each. They're excluded because 1 point each on Bet365 is it's like 160, and we're never going to take anything over minus 135. That's kind of like the max. But don't mind taking Vincent Trochek plus 180, and that's pretty much just some of the early games. I think I touched on one. There's a whole slew of other ones. I don't have time. I mean, how you want to be here for 2 hours? I do not have that time. But if you guys want the rest of the line combos and the rest of the updates, you know where to come. That's over on the Patreons, patreon.com/Andy Francess. But I think you got enough. I think you got enough regardless to get you through to tomorrow. And you guys obviously know you can do this on your own. Same line, top power play. Unless it's one of the teams that splits up and gives each power play a minute. The Dallases of the world, the Krakens of the world, the Islanders of the world. Some of the power plays out there, that's what they do. Rangers, Lightning, Toronto, no, they're getting 90 to 100 seconds, and you don't look at anyone from that second unit. Or you can just keep coming back to these videos and seeing what I have to say. And the thing is, you know, it's not like, that's why I'm not worried about some guy sitting on his bed in a Maple Leafs jersey saying, oh, it's Aho and Svechnikov, man, because it's always changing. Life changes. You change. I change. Everybody can change. All right, everybody. Hopefully I see you on the Patreon. If not, I'll see you for another round of NHL Sniffs. Let me guess, there's one game tomorrow after the full slate tonight. Take it easy. I'll talk to you then.